Welcome to the Chop Seat, where Braves country meets the big leagues. Your host Vic is here to break down everything from truest part to the top of the standings across the league. From walk-offs to wild trades, this is your seat for everything baseball, but a heavy dose of chop. So grab your glove and settle in, because the Chop Seat is open.
Welcome to the Chop Seat, your favorite place for Braves, baseball, and the rest of the league. I'm your host, Vic, and today is Thursday, August 28th. We're going to talk about another Braves series win that was against the Miami Marlins. We're going to look around the action. We're going to look at the action from around the league, as we usually do in the MLB. We're going to stay updated with the standings. Playoff races, man. Playoff races are getting good. And then we're going to take a look at the upcoming Braves series that starts tonight against the Philadelphia Phillies. So let's get into our very first segment.
It's time for Tomahawk Takes.
It's time for Tomahawk Takes, where we take a look at the previous Braves series. And Tomahawk Takes is brought to you by SeatGeek. Use code CHOPSEAT20 to save $20 off your first purchase on SeatGeek. You want to go see Travis Kelce, Taylor Swift. Football season is about to start. Use code CHOPSEAT20. You're going to be able to see them at the stadium and save yourself $20 off your first purchase. Again, go to SeatGeek. Use code CHOPSEAT20 to go to any game, any concert, any show that you want to go to. You're going to save $20 off your first purchase. So the previous Braves series just wrapped up last night. It was against the Miami Marlins. The Braves, they lose game one of the series, but they're able to come back and win the final two games of the three-game set. The offense completely exploded. This is what we've been waiting for. We know the offense is capable of doing this. Again, it's a little too late. That's the theme of every episode here in the Chop Seat now. But you'll see what I'm talking about when I say the offense blew up. It completely blew up. They started going crazy. Everyone's getting into the action, which is good to see from this Braves lineup. But game one, it was a 2-1 victory for the Miami Marlins. A very close game. Spencer Strider was on the mound for the Braves. He did not get the win, but he still pitched pretty good. Good to see him bounce back from those rough 3 to 4 starts that he had before coming into this one. He goes 7 innings, 3 hits, 1 run that was earned, 2 walks, and 3 Ks. He took the loss on this one. He's now 5-12 for the season with a 4.95 ERA. He did good, but Edward Cabrera, he was even better. This kid was phenomenal. He went 7 innings, just 1 hit allowed, no runs, 2 walks, 10 strikeouts. This guy is the ace for the Miami Marlins this season. Imagine, though, if him and Sandy Alcantara are able to pitch like this. If Sandy was able to pitch like this, they're both dealing at the same time. It's kind of scary in the NL East division, but obviously they're not there. That's why this team still struggles. But anyways, he got the win. He's now 7-7 with a 3.32 ERA. The action started off like this. Bottom of the 5th, Troy Johnson, he had an RBI double off of Spencer Strider. That gave the Marlins the 1-0 lead. And then at the bottom of the 8th, Maximo Acosta, he hits a solo home run. That was off of Pierce Johnson. That made it 2-0 Miami. And the lone Braves run, it came on the top of the 9th, rookie of the year, Drake Baldwin. He hits a solo shot. That made it 2-1. Too little, too late. That was it. That's all the Braves could do in the top of the 9th. The Marlins take game 1 of the series. Game 2, though, Hurston Waldrop was on the mound for the Braves. He goes 5 1/3, 8 hits allowed, but just 1 run that was earned and just 1 walk. No strikeouts for the kid. But listen, they had him on the ropes a few times. They had him on the ropes. He obviously didn't have his A1 stuff that he's been showing in his previous starts, but he was still able to, maneuver and just give up 1 run. So I think this is more impressive to see than the other starts he's had, because he wasn't out there dealing, but he was still able to take care of business and keep the Braves in the game. And that's exactly what he did. He was going up against Sandy Alcantara. He went 7 innings, 3 hits, 2 runs, 2 walks, and 7 strikeouts for him. He also did pretty good. Not a bad start from him. On top of the first, the Braves, they scored 1. They had the bases loaded. Marcell Ozuna, the big bear, he had a bases loaded and ground out that made it 1-0 Atlanta. Bottom of the first, the Marlins, they come back and tie real quick. It was an RBI single by Jacob Marcy. I tied it up at 1. Top of the fourth, Ozzy Albies. He had himself a series. He hits a solo shot. That's number 11 of the season for him. That gives the Braves a 2-1 lead. Bottom of the seventh, the Marlins, they tie it on a wild pitch by my boy Dylan Lee. So that tied it up at 2. But then at the top of the ninth, the Braves offense blows up. They are able to score 9 runs. Yes, 9 runs in the top of the ninth. Vidal Brujan, he has an RBI double. Drake Walden, a 2-run single. Acuna, he had a bases loaded walk. Eli White, he got into the action with a 2-run single. And then Ozzy Albies, he shows off. He hits a 3-run homer. That makes it 11-2 Braves. That's the final score. Ozzy, he hit 2 homers in this one, as you can see. Number 11 and number 12 of the season for him. And he's starting to show some good signs offensively, man. He's starting to show some good signs. You definitely want to see that, see him pick it up offensively towards the end of the season. Remember, he has that that club option at the end of the season. It's a $7 million option. It's a $4 million buyout that the Braves would have to pay if they want to move on from him. But again, you want to see him perform. You want him to show signs that he can still do it at the plate and show some pop. And that's what he's known for, man. He's a small dude, but he's known for the pop that he comes with. So it's good to see. Hopefully, a 12-1 victory for the Braves. Joey Wentz, he was starting for the Braves. He goes 6 2/3, 4 hits, allowed 1 run. That was earned, 2 walks and 5 Ks. He gets to win in this one. He's now 5-4 with a 4.92 ERA. He obviously did way better than his previous start as well, so that's a good sign to see from Joey Wentz, a guy that's trying to play for a spot in the rotation, or I say rotation, but in the pitching staff, pretty much he's trying to get a spot, even if it's a long relief bullpen spot or high leverage. He's trying to get in there, so he's looking good. Ryan Gusto was on the mound for the Marlins. He went 3 2/3, 7 hits, allowed 9 runs. All of those earned, 5 walks, 2 Ks. He took the L. He's 7-7 with a 5.67 ERA. The boy got tagged. It's no doubt about it. He got rocked. He also hit Ronald Acuna Jr. after Matt Olson homered off of him, and bench is kind of cleared. Brian Sinker, he got ejected, and I kind of wish you see the Braves retaliate. That's something that they really don't do, man. Like, just you gotta show some old school, man. Show some old school baseball, man. Like, if your main guy gets rocked, go out there and rock the opposing team, bro. Even if it wasn't on purpose. Bro. The rules are the rules. Your main guy gets it, especially after you gave up a homer, whether it was intentional or not. It doesn't look good. So, guys, come on, go out there, beat him a guy. That's how we grew up watching baseball, bro. That was like the unwritten rule. You already know how it goes. Just being the dude, but it doesn't happen, man. And I think the Marlins have hit Acuna 9 times in his career, so we know the history there. The Marlins loves to hit Acuna. They love it. So, yeah, again, I don't think this one was on purpose, but still, follow protocol, man. Follow protocol, guys. Follow the unwritten rules. Your main guy gets hit. You go out there, you hit their main guy, or especially if you had a big lead like that. Especially when you have a big lead. That I feel like that's even, it makes it even better. You're beating them up during the game, and now you take care of business. You hit one of their guys, and you keep it moving. You win the ball game. That's it. You win the series. But anyways, that didn't happen. But it was a great offensive win for the Braves. Sorry, I got off. I was going on that little rant there, but great offensive win. Profar, he goes 2 for 3, 3 walks in the ball game. He had 2 homers. Matt Olson, like I said, he had a homer. That was number 20 of the season for him. Ozzy, he hits another homer in the series, number 13 for him. Michael Harris, 2-run homer. That's number 17. Acuna, he had 4 walks. He had the hit by pitch. He had 2 runs scored. So, again, it was a complete total win for the Braves. Joey Winston, he did great. Bullpen keeps these guys off the bases. And that's how the Braves are able to win the series. You know, you kind of wish they would have won that series against the Mets. That kind of would have changed the playoff picture a little bit for the Braves. But obviously they lost 2 out of 3. They had a 4 straight series win streak going on. That was snapped by the Mets. Now they're trying to start a new one. They won against they win this one against the Marlins. And we'll see if they can continue to put some wins together. It's going to be tough, though, because they have the Philadelphia Phillies coming up on the road. You know how bad the Braves play at Citizens Bank Park. It's like they turn into nothing. Them boys are shook of when they get into Philly. So we'll see how they perform. I think the Phillies are leading the season series right now, 5-4. But anyways, that's for the Braves forecast. We're getting ahead of ourselves here. That's for the Braves forecast. But that's what happened in the previous Braves series for Tomahawk Takes. So now we're gonna go ahead and head into our next segment.
It's time for the MLB.
Welcome to the MLB, where we take a look at the action from across the league. We are going to start off at Baltimore. The Baltimore Orioles are hosting the Boston Red Sox. 4-game set. It was a 4-game set. The game 1 was on Monday. The Red Sox, they win this one 4-3. Roman Anthony, he had his first career leadoff homer. Jarren Duran, he had a 3-run homer after the Orioles had taken the lead. He comes with a clutch 3-run homer. I wrote this Chapman. He gets saved number 25. He now has a 1.06 ERA for the season. That's my closer in my fantasy team. So they take care of business. They win that one 4-3. Game 2, Lucas Giolito, he leads them to a 5-0 victory. He goes 8 scoreless innings. David Hamilton, Trevor Story, they homer in this one. That's the way it goes down. Wednesday's game last night, the Boston Red Sox, they won that one 3-2. And this game was still going on as I was prepping for the show. It was the final game of the set that started earlier today. We'll just pull that up. See who won it. I think it was tied at 3 when I was prepping. I'm assuming, no, it was tied at 2, excuse me. And the Red Sox are actually able to pull off the win. They win that one 3-2. So that's a 4-game sweep for the Red Sox against the Baltimore Orioles. That is probably it for the Orioles. That's the dagger. And the Boston Red Sox stay hot as they continue to head towards the playoffs, man. They're heading towards the playoffs, and they got some teams behind them in the wild card race. But they're in a good spot right now. They're playing good baseball. Next, we go to the Cleveland Indians hosting the Tampa Bay Rays. The Rays, they win game 1, 9-0. Junior Caminero, he has 2 homers in this one. Cleveland Guardians, they come back and win game 2, 3-0. And then Kyle Manzardo, he has a walk-off single to end Wednesday's game. Cleveland Guardians walk that one off 4-3, and they walk away with the series win. Then we go to the Bronx, the Washington Nationals at the New York Yankees. The Yankees, they win game 1 of the series 10-5. They win game 2 with help from Giancarlo Stanton. He hits homer number 17 of the season. That's number 17 in 51 games. So he's been on a scorcher. They win that one 5-1. And then the final game of the series, they bring out the brooms. The Yankees, they bring out the brooms in the Bronx. They able to win this one 11-2. Aaron Judge, he hits homer number 41 of the season. Bellinger follows in with a homer himself. They go back to back. They scored 9 in the bottom of the third. I think they hit 5 homers in this one. These guys are the Bronx Bombers are back, guys. They are back. Max Fried, he pitched well, 14-5. Now for the season with a 3.06 ERA. You are truly missing Atlanta, buddy. Then we go to the Toronto Blue Jays, who are leading the AL East. They were hosting the Minnesota Twins. Alejandro Kirk's homer leads Toronto to the 10-4 victory in game 1. The Twins, they come back and win game 2, 7-5. But then the Blue Jays are able to come back and win the final game of the series, 9-8. They win the rubber matchup and the series. Next, we go to the New York Mets hosting the Philadelphia Phillies. I told you guys to keep an eye on this one. The Mets, they're looking better, man. Same thing as the other team across the boroughs, across the bridge. Both New York teams are starting to play better now. New York Mets, they bring out the brooms, guys. They bring out the brooms. They send them back into Philly. They sweep them. 13-3 win for the Mets in Game 1. The Phillies were up early in this one. They were up 3-0 in this one against Kodai Senga. But the Mets are able to score 6 runs off of Christopher Sanchez, who has been phenomenal this year. Vientos put in the work, man. He's, like I said previous episode, he's been heating up, and he helped them to the victory. Game 2 was a 6-5 victory for the Mets, a walk-off victory. It was 2-0 in the bottom of the 5th. Again, Phillies were leading that one. The Mets, they scored 5 in the bottom of the 5th. Harrison Bader, though, he had a game-time homer in the 8th against Ryan Helsley. But the Mets were able to put the work in against Joan Duran on the bottom of the 9th. Brandon Nimmo, he had a walk-off hit. That, again, is a 6-5 victory for the Mets. And then the final game, the rookie, Nolan McLean, he has 8 scoreless innings, only 4 hits allowed, no walks. That makes it 10 straight wins for the Mets against the Phillies at Citi Field. These dudes cannot win at Citi, bro. Phillies, what's going on? It's funny, the Mets, they can't win at Truist Park against the Braves. The Braves can't win in Philly against the Citizens Bank Park against the Phillies, and then the Phillies, they cannot win at Citi Field. These guys are just going back and forth. That is how it is, though. They bring out the brooms. They sweep the first place Phillies, and they draw a little bit closer. I believe they're 4 games back now from the Phillies. We'll see when we're all done with this, when we take a look at the standings, just to confirm that. Next, we go to the Kansas City Royals at the Chicago White Sox. The White Sox win Game 1 7-0. The Royals are able to come back, though, and win Game 2 5-4, and then win Game 3 12-1. They're able to win the series there. Arizona Diamondbacks at the Milwaukee Brewers. They had a 4-game set. Brewers win Game 1 7-5. They win Game 2 9-8. Isaac Collins, walk-off sac fly. The Diamondbacks come back and win the other one 3-2, and they are now playing Game 4 right now of the series. It's 6-4. Deep up in the bottom of the 9th. Runners on first and second. 3-2 count, 2 outs. Let's see. We can see how this one ends. And that is Christian Yelich. He grounds out to second baseman Ketel Marte. That is the ball game. A live final here on the Chop Seat. So there's a series split there for the Diamondbacks and the Milwaukee Brewers. That's how that one ends up. Then we go to the Pittsburgh Pirates at the St. Louis Cardinals. They also had a 4-game set. Cardinals win Game 1 7-6. Pittsburgh comes back. They win the second one 8-3. They win the third one as well 2-1. Now let's see if that game finalized. Now we're going to do a live score here. The Cardinals, they actually win that one 4-1. So that is another split there, guys. Another split in a 4-game set. Next, we go to the Los Angeles Angels at the Texas Rangers. The Angels win Game 1 4-0. Ron Washington, he was back from having quadruple bypass heart surgery. I saw that he said he gave up the cigarettes. It's good to see, dude. I love Ron Wash, but if you know your health ain't there, you should have been stopping cigarettes a long time ago, bro. But I'm glad you finally did it. That's good to see. Texas Rangers, though, they come back and win Game 2 of the series 7-3. And then they go out with a football score, man, in Game 3. A 20-3 victory for the Rangers, and they get the series win in that one. Next, this is another series I told you guys keep an eye on. You had the San Diego Padres at the Seattle Mariners. 2 teams in the wild card hunt. I mean, in the wild card and the division hunt, to be honest. Seattle, they win Game 1 9-6. Cal Raleigh, a big thumper in the bottom of the first. He hits homer number 50 of the season. First time ever a catcher hits 50 homers in a season, and only the second player, switch hitter, to hit 50 in a season. Only Mickey Mantle was the lone guy before this to be able to hit 50 homers in a season, being a switch hitter. Game 2, the Padres, they win this one 7-6. Ramon Laureano, he had a grand slam in the first inning. They scored a total of 5 runs. in the top of the first. Seattle, they come back though. They score 6 in the bottom of the fifth. But Freddie Freeman, he gives the Padres a lead with a squeeze. The squeeze is on. That's how they win the game. 7-6 victory for the Padres. And then Eugenio Suarez, he leads the Mariners to win Game 3, the rubber matchup. They win the series. He had homer number 42 of the season for him. So that's how they win that series. Next, we go to the Detroit Tigers at the Athletics. The Athletics, surprisingly, bring out the brooms. They sweep the Detroit Tigers. They win Game 1, 8-3. They win Game 2, 7-6. A walk-off walk there in the 10th inning, bottom of the 10th. And then they had a shutout victory, 7-0 in Game 3. That's how they bring out the brooms against the Detroit Tigers. Next, we have the Cincinnati Reds at the LA Dodgers. I'll tell you guys, keep an eye on this one. You had the Reds right behind the Mets trying to make some ground. You had the Dodgers tied up with the Padres. So we definitely had to keep an eye on this one. But the Dodgers, they bring out the brooms. They slow down the Reds a little bit. Andy Pajes, he had 2 homers in Game 1. That was a 7-0 victory for the Dodgers. In Game 2, Clayton Kershaw, he goes 5 strong innings. Will Smith, he had homer number 16. That leads the Dodgers to a 6-3 victory. And then in Game 3, Ohtani, the best start of the season for him so far. He goes 5 innings, 9 strikeouts, 2 hits, 1 run allowed. They win 5-1, and they bring out the brooms in this one. Colorado Rockies at the Houston Astros. This series started on Tuesday. The Rockies, they win Game 1, 6-1. Houston Astros come back in Game 2. They win that one 4-0. And this was live just a little while ago. The Astros, they win the series, a 4-3 victory in the final game. Jordan Alvarez, he's back for the Astros, baby. He's back. So keep an eye on him, how he does after coming back from that hand injury. And then the final series that we had was the Chicago Cubs at the San Francisco Giants. Justin Verlander, he passes Walter Johnson on the all-time strikeout list. He struck out number 3,016 of his career in this one. He leads the Giants to a 5-2 victory, so congrats to Justin Verlander. I believe he's now 8th on the list, or maybe 9th. Now he's looking to pass number 8 on the list. The Giants are able to win Game 2 as well, 12-3 last night. And then let's see, I think this might be underway right now. It's a 3-3 tie in the top of the 7th, but at least we know the Giants have already won the series. They're trying to go for the sweep, so we'll see if they're able to pull this one off. I think I see Wheeler Adames at a 2-run homer. Oof, needed that. Oh, he got 2 homers in this game. He got 2 homers. I need him to stack up these homers in the fantasy league playoffs right now. That's my shortstop. So I'm happy to see that because I'm down right now. I need all the points I could get. Anyways, that is it for the MLB. Well, at least for when it comes down to the scores. Let's see what we got here. We got the series. So we got some series starting today. Some fresh, brand new series. These are all going to be 4-game sets. We got the Yankees at the Chicago White Sox. That's a 4-game set. You got the Miami Marlins at the New York Mets, and then you got the Braves at the Philadelphia Phillies. Those are all 4-game sets. And then starting tomorrow, these are the other series that are going through the weekend. You got the St. Louis Cardinals at the Cincinnati Reds, Tampa Bay Rays at the Washington Nationals. You got the Milwaukee Brewers at the Toronto Blue Jays. Keep an eye on this one. That one's highlighted for you. Pittsburgh Pirates at the Boston Red Sox. Seattle Mariners at the Cleveland Guardians. Who else we got? Sorry, I was about to read the ones I already read. The Mets and the Yankee series. We got the LA Angels at the Houston Astros. Detroit Tigers at the Kansas City Royals. You can keep an eye on that one. I didn't highlight it, but you can keep an eye on that one, low-key. You never know what can happen. The Royals are trying to stay in that playoff race. This is going to be key to win a couple games at least against the Detroit Tigers, they just got swept, so we'll see what they're able to do against them. San Diego Padres at the Minnesota Twins. Chicago Cubs at the Colorado Rockies. Texas Rangers at the Athletics. Arizona Diamondbacks at the Los Angeles Dodgers. And the Baltimore Orioles at the San Francisco Giants. Those are all the series that will be going on during the weekend. Another headline I had seen, it was Rangers starter Nathan Eovaldi, rotator cuff strain. More than likely, he's going to be out for the rest of the season. That is a big loss for them. especially they're trying to stay in that playoff hunt as well. So he was cooking this year, man. This dude was really cooking this year. So if he's out for the rest of the season, man, that's a big loss for them. And what else we had here? We had the 2026 Braves schedule is out. And I'm so happy to say that they are not, I repeat, they are not starting out west next year. We can't do the starting out west again. You guys obliterated us from the beginning of the season, bro. You guys knew what you were doing. You had us starting out in San Diego and then against the Padres for 7. You guys set us out, bro. We went 0-7. You guys couldn't have done something. That's a crime, bro. What you guys did, that's a crime. It really is. But again, good news. We are not starting out west next year. We're gonna be starting out the season against the Kansas City Royals at home. At home, it's gonna be a 3-game set starting on Thursday. So it's gonna be starting Thursday, March 26th. You got a day off on Friday, and then you finish the series on Saturday and Sunday. And then you have another set starting against the Athletics, a 3-game set. Then you're going out west against the Diamondbacks for 4. Then you're going to keep that road trip. You're going to the Angels for 3. And then you're going to going back home, 3 against the Guardians, 3 against the Marlins. And we're going to keep it right there. But that's a pretty favorable start to this season next year for the Braves. If you suck again next year in the beginning of the season, there's no excuses, bro. You got a pretty good opportunity here to get off to a good start. Anything besides 0-7 is a good start. After this start that we saw this year, anything besides 0-7 is not even good. It's a great start. But anyways, that's the news that we got. So all the schedule's out for the 2026 season. So if you didn't know, you want to start planning ahead, getting some road trips under your belt. Start checking that schedule out. I'm definitely going to see if I can hit Baltimore. Want to hit Pittsburgh as well. So see if I can make that happen next year. And see if we can make that happen. And hopefully it's a better season than this year. We got a year to relax this year. Not get too crazy in the playoffs. During the playoffs. But next year, I want to be back in it, man. I'll take the 1 year off. But that's it. I don't want to go longer than this. So, anyways, that's all I have for the MLB. And now let's head into our final segments.
It's time for your Braves forecast.
It's time for the Braves forecast, where we take a look at the upcoming Braves series that starts tonight against the Philadelphia Phillies in Philly, Citizens Bank Park, where the Braves are not good at. We're not good over there, bro. You got to be honest. You don't play good over there. The Braves are coming in 61-72. They're going up against the Phillies, who are 76-57. They are in first place in the NL East. Talking about first place, bro. I didn't even do the standings, man. Yo, I'm bugging, bro. Let's go to the standings real quick. Let's go to the standings. You know what? We got to put the music back. You got to put the MLB music back. Hold on. There we go. We're back in the MLB, guys. Back in the MLB. The NL East is as follows. Philadelphia Phillies, 76-57. New York Mets, after sweeping them, they're 4 games back at 72-61. Miami Marlins is holding on to that third place spot, 62-71. The Braves right behind them, 61-72. Nationals, 53-80. National League Central, the best team in baseball. The Milwaukee Brewers, they're 83-52. They've lost 2 in a row. But the Cubs have lost 2 in a row as well. 76-57. They're 6 games back. Cincinnati Reds, 68-66. St. Louis Cardinals, 66-69. Pittsburgh, 59-76. And then the NL West, the Dodgers, they won 4 in a row. They're getting hot. 77-57 is their record. The Padres, 2 games behind them, 75-59. The Diamondbacks, 66-69, trying to get to 500. The Giants, 65-68. They're trying to get to 500 as well. They won 4 in a row. The Rockies, 38-96. Shout out to the Yargos, man. I was at the Yargos game on Tuesday. Shout out to the Yargos. Toronto Blue Jays, they're leading the American League East, 78 and 56. Boston Red Sox, they won 4 in a row, 75 and 60. They're 3.5 games back. New York Yankees, 73 and 60. They won 4 in a row. They're 4.5 back. Tampa Bay Rays, 64 and 69. Baltimore Orioles, 60 and 74. They've lost 4 in a row. Detroit Tigers, 78 and 57. They've lost 4 in a row, but they have a nice 8.5 game lead over the Kansas City Royals, who are 69 and 65. The Guardians, 66 and 66, right at 500. 10.5 back. Minnesota Twins, 60 and 73. 17 back. And the Chicago White Sox find themselves at 48 and 85. Last but not least, Houston Astros are leading the AL West, 74 and 60. Seattle Mariners, 72 and 62, 2 games back, right behind them. Texas Rangers, 1 game over 500 now, 68 and 67. Athletics, they've won 3 in a row, 63 and 72, 11.5 games back. And the Angels, 11.5 back as well, at 62 and 71. Here we got the wild card picture. You got the Brewers, Dodgers, Phillies winning the divisions. Chicago Cubs, they have the number 1 spot. San Diego Padres, they have the number 2 spot. And then you got the New York Mets, they have the final spot. They now have a nice, comfortable 4.5 game lead over the Reds. Remember, the Reds they found themselves half a game back, but they fell off a little bit, and now 4.5 back. You got the Diamondbacks 7, Cardinals 7, Giants 7, and the Marlins at 10. And then the American League playoff picture is as follows. You got the Blue Jays, Tigers, Astros winning their divisions. Red Sox holding the number 1 spot. In the wild card, Yankees number 2. Mariners, they got the last spot. The Royals, 3 games back. Rangers 4.5. Cleveland 5. Rays 7.5. Athletics and Angels at 9.5. That is how the standings are looking. So now we go back. Now let's go back to the Braves forecast, because again, I messed up on that one. I dropped the ball. That's an E6 on my part. You can put it on the score sheet. Game 1 starts tonight, 6:45 p.m. Eastern. The Braves at the Phillies. Kyle Quantrill is going to be starting that one, 4 and 14 with a 5.51 ERA. He's going up against Aaron Nola, who came back after being out for quite a long time. He's 2 and 7 with a 6.52 ERA. He had a good start, though, his last start that he just had. So hopefully he can keep that going for the Phillies' sake, not for us. Game 2, Jekyll and Hyde, Bryce Elder. He's 5 and 9 with a 6.12 ERA. He's going up against Rangers Suarez, who is always OP against the Braves. We can't hit this guy. So this is going to be a Phillies win. I don't even got to watch the game. Don't watch the game. It's going to be a Phillies win. He's 10 and 6 with a 3.07 ERA. Game 3, this is going to be a 6:05 p.m. Eastern time. I'm sorry I didn't mention it, but game 2 is also going to be at 6:45. I think that's going to be on Apple TV. Just keep an eye on that one. Game 3 is going to be our good old friend, the Beast, TBD. He's going to be pitching for the Braves, going up against Christopher Sanchez, 11 and 5. He has a 2.66 ERA for the Phillies this year. I think they said it's most likely Chris Sale on the mound on Saturday for the Braves. So we'll see if he's back. But that's what they said. It's most likely him. And then game 4 is going to be at 7:10 p.m. Eastern time on ESPN. Hurston Waldrop, he's going to be having it's going to be tough for him, man. I'm not going to lie. It's going to be tough for him at the Citizens Bank Park. You know those Philly fans, you know how wild they get. They're going to be riled up. Let's see if he doesn't get riled up. Let's see if he's able to. This is going to be his test right here. This is going to be his test. We'll see if he really got it. If he does well on this start, anyway, I'm not going to say that because I already said lock my boy up for the 2026 rotation. But I'll be glad to see him do good in this start against the Phillies. He's going to be going up against Jesus Luzardo. He's 12 and 6 with a 4.23 ERA. As I mentioned before, the Phillies lead the season series so far at 5 and 4. 2 more wins, they win the series. The Braves need 3 wins to win the season series against the rival Phillies. We'll see if the Braves, the only key points I have, let's see if the Braves can continue the offensive power that they showed against the Miami Marlins the final 2 games. We'll see if they're able to take that into Philly and keep running with it, keep the offense going, flowing towards the end of the season, and hopefully, answer some questions when it comes to the offense, because that was what was really struggling in the beginning of the season, especially during the first half. So, anyways, that is all I have for the Braves forecast. It was a quick 1, 2, 3 inning when it comes to the Braves forecast. Thank you guys for tuning in. As always, I appreciate the support on Instagram at the Chopsy Pod, TikTok, Facebook, X, YouTube at the Chopsy. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Keep sharing the show. Keep using that SeatGeek code Chopsy20. Remember, you're gonna save yourself $20 off your first purchase on SeatGeek. So thank you guys for tuning in. We're gonna talk about all the action from the weekend probably on Tuesday. Monday's a holiday, so we're probably gonna do Tuesday. Everyone's off on Monday for the most part. If I'm able to do it on Monday, I'll do it. But if not, if you don't see the episodes up on Monday, then stay tuned for it on Tuesday. So everybody have a nice weekend. Stay safe, and I will see you on the next episode of The Chop Seat.